Welcome back. We're joined tonight by a face which is very familiar to hockey fans. He'll be guest of honor at the 25th Acadia Axemen Celebrity Dinner in Wolfville, a Hockey Hall of Fame member who spent a couple of seasons with the Nova Scotia Voyageurs. And Larry Robinson, my notes tell me that you went on to play a little more hockey after Halifax. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, just a couple of years, but still had the same. I was lucky to have the same success that we had with the Voyageurs. I won my first championship down in Halifax with the Voyageurs, and then I went up on January the 8th of my second year, and we won the Stanley Cup. Then I'm going, boy, this is pretty good to turn pro when you win 2 championships in 2 years. So I was really fortunate.
And of course went on to win many more as a player with the Canadians and then as a coach in New Jersey. I joke about the V's, but no doubt when you come to this part of the country, folks still want to reminisce with you about those days at the old Halifax Forum.
Oh, no, they were great days. I mean, that's basically where I got my start. We used to have to battle the birds and the nests in the morning during our morning skates, and then when we had the chance, we'd have to go across to the annex just next to it. We all had to wear socks on our heads because it was so darn cold over there. But it was, I remember that last night there in Halifax. I mean, people were in the rafters. I'm sure if the fire department had to come in, there was a lot of trouble by a lot of people, but it was really fantastic.
You'll be happy to know nothing's changed about the Forum in the ensuing years. Look, a few months ago, we lost Al MacNeil, Cape Breton, great coach of those V's teams. I know you're a first pro coach. He had the job of molding all that young talent before sending them off to Montreal. Do you recall his style?
It was a no-nonsense style. The great thing about it was that Al could talk about things, because he had done them himself. I remember vividly when he called me in. This was early on when I first started with the V's, and he said, "Listen, Larry, I mean, I'm giving you lots of chances, but you're 6'4" and almost 200 pounds, and they said if you don't start to play like it, you're not going to be able to play here." And he scared the heck out of me enough that I went out the next game and got in 2 fights, and I think I scored a goal and 2 assists or something like that, and the rest is history. But I mean, if that's the way Al was. I mean, he told you like it was. There was no beating around the bush. He was. I wouldn't say he was an X's and O's guy, but he understood the game. And he could pass that along. Great teacher. Did
you take any of that with you when you ended up behind the bench in New Jersey?
Yeah, I did. I did take some of it. The fact that you don't sugarcoat things. You just tell it like it is. And maybe Al was able to handle it a little better than I was. But the thing that I hated worse about anything was telling a guy, well, you're not good enough. We're going to have to send you to the minors and so on and so forth. I mean, I was a player as well, so I knew what it felt like. So it kind of ate inside me as far as that goes. But how to play and being able to read the players and that kind of stuff, I think I learned a lot of that from Al.
We're in the playoffs now. When you watch hockey, do you watch it? Do you see it through the eyes of a coach or a player, or is there any difference?
Neither. I try not to do it as a coach or a player, because otherwise it'd be a ball of nerves. I try to enjoy it because I know quite a few of the people, especially Craig Berube, who's behind the bench with Savvy and Van Ryan. I was with them in St. Louis when we won the Cup there, so I've got kind of special feelings for those guys because I got to know them really well and worked with them for a couple of years. But mostly I just, try to understand the game. I mean, holy smack. It's a lot different than when we played in such a way that now sometimes you don't know what's a penalty and what's not a penalty and all those kind of different things. So the game has changed quite a bit.
The season is so long now. And staying healthy, staying fit, and being able to manage a team with all the injuries and that has become as much of a chess match as perhaps the game itself on the ice.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, you get the question because everybody knows that you played in the NHL, and they all want to know, okay, who's going to win? And I keep telling them, if I knew who was going to win, I'd be a pretty rich man.
Yeah.
But I think you look at most of the teams that have won over the last few years, and it's the teams that have stayed the healthiest.
Something else that's going on parallel in concert at the same time as the playoffs, of course, is the World Championships. We've got a couple of big Nova Scotia names on that team in McKinnon and Crosby. It seems like there's been a rediscovery of international hockey at the pro level because of the Four Nations Cup. You played a lot of significant international hockey. I suspect you're probably happy to see that to come back.
Yeah, well, yes, I remember vividly. The '76 Canada Cup was my first one, and I got to play with my boyhood idol, Bobby Hull, and my teammate was who I played in defense with was Bobby Orr. So those are pretty special moments for me. But over when we're talking about World Championships, a lot of guys never had the chance to play over there because basically the players that were playing in the playoffs never had a chance to go across because the World Championships were always around the same time. Yeah. So it's nice to see that guys like Crosby and McKinnon, even though they were beat out in the playoffs, are going over to help represent their country over there because it's quite an opportunity to be able to represent your country, and a lot of times we never put our best teams on the ice over there. So this is a real big uplift for the Canadian team over in Europe.
No doubt. Larry Robinson, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you on the East Coast again. We know you're up here a fair amount on PEI with your brother often. So thank you, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time.
Okay, great, Todd. Looking forward to it.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more of your show after this.